welcome to the class. My name is Maria Ellis. I became interested in Ayurvedic studies because I'm very interested in nutrition, and I'm very interested about what makes people react the way that they do, or what makes some people be so healthy and some others, don't, gain weight, and some others are skinny, and some others are really full of life, versus other people are sick, both physically and emotional. So this particular class, I'm going to start with the 5 elements. The 5 elements are probably, as you know, made up by the space, air, fire, water, and earth. Those are the 5 elements that we are going to be studying. And those elements are important because the doshas, you might be familiar with doshas. Doshas are part of the 5 elements. And for instance, just to give you an idea of the various elements, when it comes to the space, all right, the space represents openness and expansion. The air is also what is animating the force of life. We sort of take that for granted, the air that we breathe. But if we don't have air, we don't have life, right? So air is critically important. So is fire. Fire is important and very important element. And everything is generated through that. You have the heat, you have light, there's transformation. Fire expresses itself in the outer world as the sun, for instance, and internally is part of your digestive system. You will probably have heard something about called acne. Acne is your digestive system, and that is very important for you to make sure that you have good health. Water, my goodness, what can I tell you about water, right? Water is so essential. It nourishes us, is part of our, we need that to be able to survive. Our bodies are made up roughly, what percentage of our body do you think it is actually water? If you said 70%, you're right. About 70% of our body is actually made out of water, as the planet itself. Internally, our organs and our systems are nourished by a river of plasma. Our joints are lubricated by, fluids, and our central nervous system is protected by cerebrospinal fluids, right? Fluids. So our body is a river that connects and makes it function properly. Then earth. What is earth? The earth is an element that expresses itself as solidity, mass, and form. It is reflected in the nature, is reflected in our planets, our mountains, our rocks, the solid structures of our buildings. Internally, the earth element gives rise to our bones, as an example, our muscles, our tendons, and our cartilages. So when you look at these elements, it is amazing. Our bodies are composed of those elements, and we just take it for granted. We don't really understand how our body works. So I'm glad that you're here in this class, because that helps the understanding, like I did when I first started taking this class with Dr. Chopra, as an example. So, and now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our doshas. Some of you might have heard that there are 3 kinds of doshas. We have something called vata, we have something called kapha, and we have something called pitta. But I would love to tell you a little bit about what are the characteristics of the doshas. And why is that important, really? Why do we care about the doshas? And what I found out, I have been in business all my life, in banking and finance, and sometimes I don't understand why people behave the way that they do. So by understanding the doshas, now I know that if somebody sort of blows steam because something went wrong, oh, now I know he's a pitta or she is a pitta, and I know how to work with her, right? Versus if I'm working with somebody who is, oh my goodness, a procrastinator, doesn't move quite as quickly as I would like them to, you might give me the hint that that person is a kappa, right? And I'll go over the characteristics in a few minutes, but I just wanted to give you some examples of how that's helpful. And the other dosha that I want to talk to you about is the bata. If you have somebody that, for instance, you give them some assignment and they don't know where to start, or they think about it and there are all kinds of ideas and they just, they can't concentrate, then you know that that person is a bata, and you need to be able to work with that person in a way that you understand why she behaves the way she does and be able to coach her accordingly so that you could have amiable life, and you're able to have, if it is a husband-wife relationship, you'll have a better relationship because you understand. My husband, for instance, he is a Pitta. I am a Kappa. So Kappa is kind of, I'll tell you in a minute what Kappas are. For instance, I being a Kappa, I'm basically steady. I tend to be balanced. I tend to be consistent. I tend to be loyal. I am strong. I'm supportive. I'm content. I'm calm, and I'm patient. So why is that important? If you're interviewing somebody that is you want to be part of your team, and you are a Pitta or a Bata, you want to complement your team with a Kappa, with somebody who pretty much nothing faces them. It's like they're amiable, they're supportive, they are calm, they're patient. if you're if you're as an employer a Pitta, they're very patient with you. So versus, let's say you're a Kappa, all right? So you are looking for somebody who has wants to complement your team. So you might want to consider to hire a Pitta. What are the characteristics of a Pitta? A Pitta is somebody who is focused. So you give them something to do and they go and they do it. They're warm, they're friendly. You want people like that. They are decisive, which is important if you're providing them with something that they need to be working on. You want them to take action, provided you give them enough guidance and they know what it is that you want them to be able to accomplish. I love Pitas because Pitas are also very good leaders, all right? And they tend to be energetic, they are joyful, and they're compassionate. So those are good characteristics that you want in a particular job, especially if that person that you're hiring is in senior management, or somebody who has to have employees, as an example, manage employees. The ability to be compassionate and to be able to understand and to be able to be decisive and to be warm and to be friendly, are going to work well for you as you integrate your team. So what about the characteristics of a bata? All right, a bata, I'll tell you, to complement your team, you may want to have a bata. Why? Because they're very creative. All right, they're also energetic, but I love it because they're creative. And you definitely need to have, like, let's say you are in the advertising business. Of course, you want to hire people that are batas, people that are creative, people that are adaptable, all right? People that shows initiative. If you're working with a large site project and you want somebody who is going to be creating a new PR relations for a large corporation that you just got a new contract for, you want somebody who is creative, somebody who is adaptable, somebody that shows initiative, somebody who is lively and is a conversationalist. You need to engage your client. You need to ask questions so that you can in turn, thank you, so that you can in turn be able to provide a product that your client is interested in. And one of the characteristics that I love about the batas is that they're very spontaneous, very spontaneous. So now you have a team that are created by your batas, your katas, and your fire people, meaning your pitas, your doshas. You have a team that is a winning team. So that's why understanding the doshas are important. Thank you.